know I got the receipts, girl. You know I got the receipts. Hey guys, welcome back to the Sweet Pea Diaries. It's your girl Sweet Pea, and I am back with another video. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back to my channel. And if you are a new subscriber, welcome to the Sweet Pea Diaries. Be sure to like this video, share this video, but most importantly, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Y'all know what time it is. Okay, who we got in the building? We have Monica Reyna, my moderator, Mrs. Jordan, Helen Johns, Chelsea Nicole, Carlandra Denson, Dover Girl 843, Maya Andrew Scott. Hey Drew. We got a couple people coming in the building as we speak. I see you guys entering in. You guys, we are going to cover this. A lot of people have been asking me, are you going to talk about Cardi B's case that happened back in 2018 with the Watley sisters? Well, yes, we are going to cover it today. But first, let's hear a word from our sponsor of today's video. Right, Cellars is the monthly wine club that matches you with wine that you'll love. Get started by taking the Taste Palette quiz to see your personalized matches. Now, Bright Cellars matches you with wines from all over the world, curated to your taste buds. They are focused on finding unique hidden gems from small vineyards all over the world. And with hundreds of private label wines, you'll be able to try a new wine you've never tasted before. All you need to do is take their 7-question quiz so they can gather your taste preferences and deliver wines you're guaranteed to love. Each box is completely unique to your taste palette, meaning no box is ever the same. Each box comes with wine education cards for each bottle that outline the tasting notes, suggested pairings, best serving temperatures, and its origins. Wine wisdom cards help show you how to store and open your wine, keeping it tasting fresh for longer. Now, all Sweet Pea Diaries viewers will get 60% off your first purchase by clicking on the link in the description box below. Thanks again to Bright Cellars Wines for sponsoring this video. All right, guys, and tonight we are drinking on Paper Tiger. It is a red wine, all right? The Paper Tiger, we are drinking on that tonight. So thank you to Bright Cellars Wines for sponsoring tonight's video. Now we got that out the way. Now let's get into the shit, okay? Now you guys know that back in 2018, Cardi B, she got into, she was accused of throwing, a glass, a wine, one of them damn canister things that hold wine, liquor bottles or whatever. She was accused of throwing that at these bartender sisters. The story goes that she was accusing Offset of cheating, and she went up in there and they was in there partying and she got into it, and then allegedly she was, consulting with someone in her crew that she was going to pay them to assault these women or whatever. But we got the story. That's like, hey Melly, I see you. That is like unofficially the story, but we're gonna read the official version of the story. But we're going to cover, like, a lot of people have been saying, oh, she's gonna go to jail. She has all these charges. She's got 12, 12 charges, 12 counts in 12 indictments, a 12 count indictment, should I say, in this charge. In this one incident, it's 12 counts. Okay. Well, we're going to cover these 12 counts, and we're going to go into, is she going to jail? Because she's not. Cardi B does not have, she doesn't have a record. She is not going to jail. Most of these are misdemeanors. There's 2 of them that are felonies, but they are E-class felonies. They're low-level felonies, so she is not going to jail. If anything, she'll probably have a fine or something like that, maybe a little probation, if that. But she is not going to jail. So you guys can wait on that, because that's not going to happen. But we are going to cover that tonight, so let's jump right into it, y'all. Okay, so back in 2018, Cardi B, she pleaded not, well, was it in 2000? No, it was in 2019 when she actually pleaded not guilty at her arraignment. She was indicted on a 12 count, um, a 12 count charge in related to a connection with a fight at a New York City strip club. Okay. It was in the summertime at a strip club where they were trying to say she went up in there and she attacked these women, the Watley sisters. They said that she threw glass bottles and alcoholic drinks at them, and that their head was slammed into the bar. One of their heads was slammed into the bar. But they don't say that Cardi B actually is the one that slammed her head into the bar, right? They say that it was caught on videotape that Cardi threw something at them, which was one of those, like I said, containers, if you want to call it, that keeps bottles in it. They say she threw that at them, and they caught her on camera doing this. All right. And they say that apparently she suspected one of the sisters for having an affair with Offset, and she confronted them in the bar. All right. So that's what an ice bucket, that's what it's called. I could not think of the goddamn word, but it was an ice bucket that she threw at them. All right. So they are trying to say that she also offered someone in her camp payment for assaulting them. So she discussed the payment, and they're saying that it's videotaped. So of course, the 2 people that she is see, I'm trying to be really careful and use the right words, because she's not been convicted of this. So you don't want to make it sound like she actually did these things, because it's alleged that these things occurred. So I'm really trying to be careful of how I word it, because she did not, plead guilty to any of this. We're going to get into the plea deal situation, why she did not plead, take the plea deal. We're going to get into that, but I just want to be careful of how I word it, because this is not an actual, that this is what happened. So, allegedly she threw the ice bucket at them, and it's all because Offset was cheating with one of them. And then they said that they have it on tape, 2 people in her camp that she was consulting with and was discussing payment for the assault. And they say it's all on video. All right. So, of course, Cardi pled not guilty to this, and they wanted her to take a plea deal, right? So why did she not take a plea deal? Well, when they offered her the plea deal, They offered her a type of a deal which was called an absolute, a conditional discharge versus an absolute discharge. And we're going to get into the difference between the two. So they wanted to give her a conditional discharge and not an absolute discharge, which is why Cardi actually turned down the plea deal, because what a conditional discharge is, it stays on your record for 3 years and it is only removed once the conditions are met. But an absolute discharge, it is not on your record for 3 years. It is only on your record for 1 year, and there is no conviction. It's not, it goes away. There are no conditions. There's no conviction on your record. And it goes, this goes away after a year. Now, with the conditional discharge, it stays on the record for 3 years, but there are conditions with it. You have to meet certain conditions. So Cardi was basically stating, I'm not going to take this plea deal because there's conditions surrounding it. It's going to stay on my record for 3 years, and you're not offering me an absolute discharge, which is no conditions. It's only a year, that I have to adhere to this, and it'll be gone, and there's no conviction. So she did not take this plea deal because she did not like what they were offering her. So it was a conditional discharge and not an absolute discharge. And that's why she turned that deal down. Okay. So she said, I'm going to go, I'm going to take this to court. And then when people see this, they see, oh, she's got 12 different charges. There's 12, different indictments. Indictment count 1 through 12. Well, when you start reading them and you break them down, when you look at this, you see that most of them, they say that they are not arrest charges and not an arraignment charge. And what this means is when she was arrested, or, when the police arrested her or whatever. This is charges that the DA added onto this case. So when you're originally arrested on counts or charges, whatever you want to call them, the DA can add, you know how they do, they start overcharging you. And they start adding everything that they can think of. They start adding it to, if it sounds like this might apply, they'll add it. And then later on, when they think of plea deals and all this stuff, they start knocking things down or lowering them. But when you look at these, so it says harassment in the second degree, physical contact, criminal solicitation in the 5th degree, attempted assault with intent to cause physical injury with a weapon, harassment 2nd degree physical contact, attempted assault with intent to cause serious physical injury. This time it's without the weapon. Reckless endangerment in the 2nd degree. Harassment in the 2nd degree, physical contact. Criminal solicitation in the 4th degree. Criminal felicitation in the 4th degree. Conspiracy. Assault with intent to cause physical injury. Conspiracy in the 5th degree. So when you look at the charges over here and they have the numbers, some of them have the same number and some of them don't. The reason being, the ones with the same number, they are the same count. They're the same charge. They just have different indictment count numbers because you can say different incidents apply to this count. So you could have committed harassment in the 2nd degree twice. It's listed on here. As you can see right here, same charge number, harassment in the 2nd degree, physical contact. Boom, right here again, same charge number, harassment in the 2nd degree, physical contact, but it's 2 different indictment numbers, right? 3 and 4. Okay, but they're the same charge, same number. So that's really 1. So it's not really 12, it's really one, but it's different incidences. Like they can say, well, during this time and when they was in the bar fighting and this certain thing happened, or she harassed her or whatever, she did it in this instance and then she did it in this instance at another part in the fight. So they're charging it, overcharging again, it's what it's called. They overcharging it, but they just applying it to different incidences within this occurrence. Okay? So that's why they do that. But then when you see it says violation, see, you have to read each, and this is why I say we can read, okay? A lot of times people get up here and they be capping. All they want to show is, oh my God, it's 12 different counts. It's 12 different indictment numbers. She's got all these charges. But when you really read it and you start breaking it down, it's all the same. It's, yes, trumped up charges. Right, KB? Trumped up charges is basically what it is. It's a whole bunch of nothing. Most of it is one thing, but they've got it all spread out, trying to make it look like it's a big old deal. Most of it is misdemeanors. They do not even have, come with jail time. So you got to start really reading it. Now, violation means, you see that some of these counts say violation. Violation is meaning because it wasn't that she was on probation already or on a parole and she violated it. Usually that's what it would mean if you were already a criminal. But in her case, this is because she has a restraining order that Jade and her sister were granted as a result of this issue. So because it was granted while the case was going on, these charges, these are going to be listed as violations. The harassment charge and the criminal solicitation charge, another harassment charge, harassment again. The ones that are listed as violations are violations of that restraining order. So it's not that the restraining order, we know it wasn't in effect during this happening because it hadn't occurred yet. But it's a violation now because there is a restraining order in effect. So if she were to be found guilty of these charges, it would be in a violation to that restraining order. So that's what that means, okay? Now, felony. When people look at these and they say, well, she's got 2 felonies. Okay, well, first of all, they are not arrest charges or arraignment charges. These are not the charges that when she was arrested, these are not the charges that they gave her. These are charges that the DA added afterwards. So when you see that it says not an arrest charge and not an arraignment charge, that's not what she was charged with. So she was not charged with attempted assault to cause serious injury with or without a weapon. Those charges were not the arrest charges. They were added afterwards. The arrest charges were these misdemeanors down here. The harassment. You notice it? It says arrest charge. Reckless endangerment was the arrest charge. And then this assault with intent to cause physical injury, which is listed as a misdemeanor, was an arrest charge. So she was not arrested on felony charges. She was arrested on misdemeanor charges. And then later the DA started adding things. And when they add them, some of them happen to be felonies. Doesn't mean that she committed a felony. All right. Let me let that sink in for one moment. I have to wipe my nose. Let that sink in. Okay, thank you for waiting. So does that mean are you with me? Let me know. Give me a 1 in the chat if you guys are with me so far. If the people in the building, if you are understanding, if I need to further explain, let me know. We're going, where we are in this break right here. Let me know if you need a little explanation on something because we're going to keep going. Let me know. Do you understand where I'm at right now with this? Okay. Let me know. Okay. Okay, we got one, one, one. Everybody understands it. Okay. So when you look at these, they are not felony charges. Okay. The ones that are felonies, they are felonies. Now, there is no such thing when you look at something that says attempted assault or attempted battery. The word attempted is added when you have not actually touched someone. So the reason why they have attempted on these is because she did not really physically put her hands on anyone. All right. Which is why the one down here, assault with intention to cause physical injury, is a misdemeanor because she didn't touch anybody. All right. And even with the one that is listed as a felony, it is listed as an E. And what is an E level? A Class E felony in New York is the lowest felony charge available and usually associated with serious crimes that did not warrant a higher felony charge. When, for example, if it's like a DUI or a DWI case that results in harm being done to a person or structure, a felony could be applied. So in this instance, if it is a E felony, it's like, yeah, we could charge something higher, but we really, the circumstances doesn't warrant us to. So it is the lowest felony charge available. All right. So let that sink in. It's the lowest charge available. Okay. Now, when you see here, it says criminal solicitation in the 4th degree. So when you start looking at 4th degree, 6th degree, 2nd degree, anyone in their right mind, common sense will tell you, the higher you get in the number, the lower the daggone charge. 4th degree, not really a high offense, still a misdemeanor. All right, but what is criminal solicitation? What does that mean? All right, well, criminal solicitation means in the 3rd degree and 4th degree, now it's charged in 5 degrees, with the lowest degree being the 5, right? So it is, okay, wait a minute. Okay, so criminal solicitation is when a person over the age of 18 commands, requests, or solicits a person to engage in conduct that is felony offense. This level of this offense is now a Class E felony. So again, if it's listed as a Class E, then it's a low-level offense. So let me see what they've applied this one. Let me read this again so I can give you the right. Okay, so with the criminal solicitation, they put it in the 4th degree. So for an actual 4th degree, let's see if I could find it. See, now with the one in the 3rd degree, this one means if a person command that's 18 and they tell someone that's 16 or underage to do something, then they put it as a 3. But one in the 5th degree is typically results in a fine. It says, as stated above, the lowest degree of this offense is a criminal solicitation in the 5th degree. And violations that typically are this level result in a fine. So if she has it in, let me see, they have hers In the fourth degree, criminal solicitation. They also have criminal solicitation in the fifth degree. That's just going to result in a fine. That's not even going to result in any type of jail time. Doesn't come with jail time. These are fines. Criminal facilitation in the fourth degree. What's that? Criminal facilitation is when a person is guilty of believing it probable that he rendered aid to a person who intends to commit a crime. He engages in conduct which provides such persons with means or opportunity for the commission thereof, and which in fact aids such person to commit a felony, or to a person under age 16 of age who intends to engage. That doesn't apply to her because they weren't under 16. So this is a person is guilty of criminal facilitation in the fourth degree when believing it probable that he is rendering aid to a person who intends to commit a crime. So that could apply when she's in the presence of these people that intended to hurt the two bartenders. So they're going to give her criminal facilitation because they believe that she was there and she rendered aid to these people. She helped them commit the crime, which is also conspiracy, which is why they also added conspiracy. And we see that here. Conspiracy in the fifth degree and the sixth degree. Again, but they are lower level, sixth degree and fifth degree. And if you look these up, they are not punishable by jail time. They are punishable by fines. And if they are punishable by jail time, they might carry 2 years, 5 years since 2 to 5 years at the most. These attempted assaults, they carry up to 5 years. Now, assault in the first degree, second degree, and those type of things, they are the ones that carry 15 years and stuff like that. But this is not that. When you see the number 2 here, this is the indictment count. So when you see assault with intent to cause physical injury, it's already listed as a misdemeanor. It's 1 count listed as a misdemeanor. That number 2 is not second degree. It is the indictment number. So this doesn't even have a degree because it's already listed as a misdemeanor. And the assaults that, and the charges that do have degrees on them is the criminal solicitation, which was not even the arrest charge. They were charges that the DA added on afterwards. So then when you see here, top charge, people say, well, what's that mean? Top charge is the most, this is the number 1 charge, right? That's why it's listed as number 1. And it's the one that can carry the most of punishable offense. Like it can carry the most punishment. That's your top charge. This one is the attempted assault with intent to cause serious physical injury, and it is listed as an E-class felony. But it was not the arrest charge. It was added on by the DA, but it is an E felony, again, which is the lowest level felony. And what is an E felony punishable? An E-class felony in New York is the lowest felony charge available and usually associated with serious crimes that did not warrant a higher felony charge. And it says an E-class felony sentence might be 2 to 5 years in jail, depending upon the circumstances. And if you do not have a prior record or something like that, you already know that you can get off with just fines or probation or something like that. So you guys can hold your breath. Cardi B is not going to jail. You know, she's going to continue to be out here with her family, with her children. She is not going to jail. These are not 12 different indictment counts. Like they got her racked up with all these charges. Like she is just, is so serious. No, it is not. And then when they say with a weapon, assault with intent to cause injury with the weapon, that is the ice chest. That's the ice bucket. Her throwing the ice bucket or the glasses flying. That is the weapon. It is not any type of actual, like a gun or knife or anything like that. It's not that. It is the damn ice bucket. That's what they're considering a weapon because it was an object that was thrown. Okay. So, I mean, come on, y'all. Stop. Just stop it. Let me take a look at my notes and make sure I'm not missing anything. Right. So that's really basically it. I mean, um, there is really, nothing here to get worked up about. The conspiracy, again, they got that on there because they claim that they got her on video talking to two people that are in her camp. Then they were discussing payment for what they did, that they allegedly did, that they attacked these bartenders and she paid them to do that. We don't know what the hell went down in there. It was so many different people fighting, going, carrying on. We don't know who did what, who did what. If Cardi threw an ice bucket, oh well. If it hit somebody, oh well. But it was not intentional, just like she got with Hennessy and them Trump, the MAGA people. They just beat that her and Cardi. And the MAGA people tried to say that Hennessy spit on them. Well, the judge said, well, even if she did spit, she probably didn't mean to. It probably wasn't intentional. They was arguing or whatever, spit might have flew. That's the same thing here. They might have got into it and somebody in the heat of the moment picked up something and threw it. Didn't mean that she intentionally tried to hit them and harm them. So again, anything that goes down in court is always about the intent. You got to show that she intentionally tried to harm someone, that she intentionally did this. Okay. So I'm gonna check the comments and see what you guys are talking about and see if anybody got any questions. But if not, we're gonna get up on out of here because I have to do my show with Q in a couple hours and I have to prepare for that. But she's protecting Offset. I get it, like Will and Chris. No face, no case. Plus, these two females went live bragging they didn't get touched. Okay? And a lot of times people don't realize, but that daggone the internet, they put their foot in their mouth because even the judge told Cardi at the the court appearance that be careful on social media. Basically, we're going to be looking around. So, at the time that she said, nope, I'm not taking this plea deal, I'm pleading not guilty or whatever, the judge told her, well, just be careful about social media. And look at these. They up there talking about they ain't get touched. So they be recording this stuff and they'll put it right on up there in front of their faces like they did with TK and said, do you remember saying this? Do you remember this? Okay. So Cardi goes back to court again on April 27th. Thank you, Lily. Miss Magic. I mean, hey. Hey, somebody, you threw it, oh well. I mean, listen. Y'all know what happens. I mean, things in the heat of the moment, in the heat of battle, things can occur, but did you intentionally throw it? That's the thing. You have to prove that there was some malice. You was intending to harm. You were trying to cause bodily injury. Again, this is court. This is not YouTube. This is not the First 48. It's not a TV show. When you go before a judge, no matter whether you feel as though this is what happened, you got to be able to prove it. And if you can't prove that this happened, your case is going to be dismissed. Period. All right. So it ain't going to be everybody on here thinking they a lawyer and all of a sudden everybody is an attorney and they a lawyer and they work in the legal aid department and they know all this stuff. It's like, girl, please. If you can't prove it, charges are not going to stick. All right. But again, we've all seen this before. We've all seen charges be trumped up. People get hit with all these charges. You go on and think for one thing and you coming out of that thing with 12 different sentences. You got 12 different entries on this goddamn form. Like, what? Where did all this come from? But again, it's only two arrest charges. No, 3. Okay, wait a minute. 1, 2, arrest charge, 3, 4. 4 arrest charges. So these are what they charged her with at the time of the arrest. Harassment in the second degree, that's it, that's twice. So this one and this one is the same number, which is why it says 2 counts, because they charged her with 2 counts of harassment in the second degree. So it is the same charge number, just 2 counts of it, because they are saying, well, during this fight, at this point of the fight or occurrence in the bar, you was doing this that equaled harassment. And then in this incident, at the end part of the fight, you was doing this and that also equaled harassment. So it gives you 2 counts. That's what that means. And then let's see, do we have another one with the same number? No. We ain't, wait a minute. Assault with intent to cause physical injury. Oh, here, right here. Attempted assault with intent to cause serious physical injury, attempted assault with intentional physical injury. They both have the same number, but they trying to say this one was with a weapon and this one was without a weapon. However, they are both not the arrest charges. They are the charges that the DA added afterwards. Okay? So, child, please, these are all trumped up charges. Cardi ain't going to jail. This stuff is all a bunch of hogwash. It's a bunch of hogwash. So it is not 12 felonies. You know, I read somewhere the other day where someone said, I want to see about these 12. There is no 12 felonies or 12 count. These are misdemeanors. There ain't no 12 different charges. No. Misdemeanors and 2 felonies that are E-class felonies. All right. So Cardi's not going to jail. All right, guys. All right, so that's all I got. If you stick around April 27th, after April, we'll come back up and we'll do another update on whatever happens in court, okay? So this has been another edition of the Sweet Pea Diaries. Y'all know I'm going to do it for the gang. I'm going to make sure I put out the truth. Because, honey, people just be so excited, like they just can't stand Cardi B. They get so excited, like, oh, you know, what about this? She's out here doing the, and it's like, no, it's not. Just pay Tasha K her money, girl. Just pay Tasha K. Y'all just focus on paying paying Cardi B. Tasha K just pay Cardi B her money, girl. Pay her. So what is going to happen on the next court date? Motions. I don't know what will happen with the next court date. You know, I don't know. You know, I don't know what happened. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to be smart, but I don't know what's going to happen. You know, we don't know what they're going to go in court and do. I don't know what comes up next. You know, she pleaded not guilty. So the next thing is for them to start showing how she's guilty, you know? So I don't know. I don't know what comes up next. Emotion, when you say motions, emotion is anything that's entered on a docket. Anything that's entered, and the judge, you know, they put a brief or put a motion or a paper in front of the judge for him to review, and there's got to be something comes of it. That's emotion. Anything is emotion, you know, so I really don't know. But really what comes up next is them trying to prove how she is guilty. So the fact that she turned down a plea deal, you know, and they might come back to the table with something else. They might come back, you know, after all this time has passed, and maybe they realize they go through their the evidence that they have again, and say, you know what, they might come back with another plea deal, and she might take it or might not take it. But my whole thing is, if they had offered her an absolute discharge, then we might have seen that she took that plea deal. But by them wanting to give her a conditional discharge, that means it would have been on her record for 3 years. She knows that she really didn't do anything, and she's like, I'm not going to take this and have something on my record for 3 years. No, I'm not doing it. And, if it was something lower that she could have gotten, and you have already charged me, like her lawyer is giving her this advice. They already are look at these charges. Look at them. They're bullshit. So the lawyer knows that they can get off on this stuff. So it's like, no, we're not going to take a plea deal with these type of charges. You got to give us something better than that. You got to give us an absolute discharge. Ain't nobody taking no conditional discharge. Some stuff going to be on her record for 3 years. And there's conditions that she's got to follow. And then if she don't stick to them conditions and stipulations, and now she's in trouble again. No, she wanted an absolute discharge, and I'm with her, because these charges are nothing. They're misdemeanors. They're all punishable, probably most of them by fines. And then she's never been in trouble, so she doesn't have a criminal record. So some of this can probably be dismissed and thrown out. So I'm with Cardi. You don't just take it. You don't just take it just because, they said it in front of you. And that's what people think, that, you're supposed to just take something just because they give it to you. It's like, no, if I can beat this, my lawyers are telling me that this is not something I should take, I'm not taking it. So that's where I'm at with it. So stay tuned. We'll follow up with it. This has been another edition of the Sweet Pea Diaries. I'm going to send us home with this. Y'all be sure to like, share, and subscribe.